feeling stage fright? What if you could transform it into confidence? Welcome back to the Path of Purpose podcast with Dr. Katja Rusanen. In today's episode, we are exploring another inspiring journey, offering expert tips to help you live your purpose. Are you ready to be inspired? I'm super excited to introduce our guest, Diann Alexander, who is a confidence catalyst, public speaker, voice and performance coach. Diann is also a 3-time Amazon best-selling author and the creator of Onstage Confidence, Nervous to Noteworthy in 6 weeks. With 50 plus years of teaching voice, performance, and directing at universities and regional theaters, Diann expertly guides heart-centered entrepreneurs, speakers, and coaches create more audience connection and inspired profitable impact. In this interview, Diann will share how you can get more confident on stage. So stay tuned. So welcome, Diann. I'm super excited to have you here.
Welcome, Dr. Katja. I'm super excited to be here. Any chance to help people be more confident makes me really happy.
Yes, and you have such a dedication for this work. So I'm curious to know, was there a special event that led you to this path?
It was probably my whole life, but yes, there was a turning point. Like many of us, I grew up in a fairly turbulent household. And so my MO was to make myself really small, be the good girl, never inflame the big people. And it worked pretty well for me until I got to college. So I was doing the music in the background. I supported everybody, but I was in the background. My girlfriend had the best voice in the department, and I was waiting for outside class one day when the door creaked open and this professor stuck his head out and said, "We're short a singer. Come in here and sight read. Nice voice. Take the class. And by the way, you need voice lessons." Well, talk about scared. I didn't want to be in front of the people, but sing. But he was the head of the department. Was I going to say no? So I thought the voice lessons were going to be the bad part. The bad part was the jury at the end of the voice lessons. And it's as bad as it sounds. A jury is where you have to sing in front of the faculty for a grade. And for some reason, they thought I belonged in the public jury. The public jury is where the entire faculty is there, all the students and their friends and family. It's like, oh, no. The day for the jury came, and I remember clutching onto my music so tightly and shuffling down that really long center aisle. There were people on the right and people on the left, and way down there was the piano. Somehow, by the grace of God, I managed to give my music to the accompanist without dropping it. And in the grand piano, how they have that big crook? I kind of leaned against that thing and slithered back because, oh my gosh, it was the only thing that kept me up, I'm sure. And that big black bar, I white knuckled that baby because I knew I was going down. My mom said she could see my knees shake from the back of the room. It was horrible. All kinds of things went through my head, like, what if I mess up? What if they think I don't belong here and kick me out? What if I let everybody down? My parents, the teachers, me. What if I'm just a big old fake? It was terrible. I don't remember much else about that jury, but what I do remember is I never wanted to feel that way again. But college didn't help. They said things like, "Oh, well, just practice till you can't get it wrong." Well, that's fine as long as you're in the practice room. The minute you're out of the practice room and you're on the stage, you have lights. You have people, you have tech that goes bad. There's so many other things that go wrong. So that really didn't work. And then there was the ever popular mental thing. Imagine them in their underwear. Yeah, like that never worked for me. Or the last one that they really were a proponent of, which really didn't work for me because, believe it or not, I'm actually fairly introverted and quiet. And they would say, pump up your energy, so go, 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 go. Well, when you're nervous and scared, that's like pouring gasoline on a fire. And so that moment was, I realized you can't paint over panic. And all of these things that required me to think about something differently didn't work because we were addressing something different. So I would say that was the big turning point for me, which led me to my 50-year journey of fun things I want to share with you.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your journey as well. Because sometimes when we see people, especially teaching confidence and helping on that, you sometimes think like, oh, easy for you to say, you are so okay in front of camera now. But it's again like remembering that you as well have done the path, you found your way to overcome these challenges and overcome the nerves and all those things. So it is again like a journey that took you where you are now. So just wanted to share that if somebody's there now, like, okay, I can resonate with where she was in the beginning. I'm there now. So now stay tuned because there will be these amazing tips for you. So let's start with the definition because sometimes we have different definitions. So I'd love to hear, what does confidence mean to you?
Confidence is really one of those words where you feel like you've gotten somewhere. It's one of those words where you feel like, excuse me, you've already handled a bunch of things so that it's done and we're seeing the end result. The path to confidence is very, very different, though. I think the step that comes before confidence is that true authenticity, which is where your part comes in so importantly and we forget, which is that tuning into us. Who are we really? What is our gift that we really have to bring to the people? Because when people are confident, they try and take the outside aspects of what other people who look like they are being confident and put them on themselves. And whereas that can be a really good tool, it's that first tuning in to say, okay, what is it that I really have to say? What really is my passion, my purpose, my mission? So confidence comes from knowing that first and then practicing it enough so that you feel like, oh, there's not so many unknowns. I know I can navigate this. And there's that conversation between the part of you that's the real you and the part of you that's the confident I want to present you to the future and to my people you, because we want to get them to be more the same thing rather than the two separates. Was that what you asked?
Yes, I love that because again, that was so valuable sharing your definition for the confidence and also like how you shared it's actually how you get there. That's still what matters. So, in your opinion, why so many people feel nervous when they speak in public? Whether it's online or offline, because I know our audience is doing both, maybe. So why is it? Because I've been there too, but like would love to hear from you. Why so many people feel those nerves when we speak in public?
Well, I've been doing this for 50 years, and probably the number one reason is the not good enough monster. I feel like I'm an imposter. I feel like people aren't going to like what I have to say. And it really has to do with the feeling that I'm not good enough. What I have isn't big enough. And while that's not true, we know in retrospect, when you're going through it, you feel like, what if they criticize me? Then my value will be nothing. And so there's a journey that has to go from that scared little person who I was, never inflame the big people. I don't care what it is I have to do. I'm just going to avoid being criticized. I'm just going to make you happy so you don't yell at me. I just want to be out of that limelight. So there's really a lot to deal with that. That's why I like to give people like little specific physical tools that you can do first so that you can bring yourself, because when you're talking about that, you are in a state of fight and flight. Yes. When you're in a state of fight and flight, your subconscious, which takes care of you, thinks you're threatened. And it doesn't know if it's a big bear or it doesn't know if it's a stage fright bear. It doesn't know if it's a they won't like me bear. It only knows that you're in trouble. So it shuts you down. It shuts that brain down from open and creative to wonk, emergency mode.
Yes, going blank, like I have done trainings on public speaking, and like my biggest fear was like, okay, I'm gonna go blank, and then I did. So like standing there and like not remembering my lines, and it was like, okay. And it came like exactly that, like I just want to run. I just want to like turn and run and never go back.
Oh, absolutely. I have a tip for that. If you'd like one, I have a tip
Yes,
for that.
please, let's go
So
on that.
when we go into the fight and flight and it hits us, that little trap door inside our brain that triggers emergency mode puts all energy to our limbs. It shuts it off to our brain. It shuts it off to our breath so that we can fight, we can
Hmm.
freeze, we can fawn, or we can get off the stage. And none of that is connecting with your audience. None of that is remembering your words. So instead of imagine them in their underwear or a lot of the other mental things people give us, if we can go to that physical point, what happens when you get nervous? Oh, how about if we go there first? That makes more sense. So this joint where your neck goes up into the top of your head is your power center. It's the first thing that shuts off along with your breath so you can handle the fear. So what if we do the opposite? We need to loosen it. So prove it to yourselves. Tighten your neck as tight as you can and try and inhale. It's really hard. So now what happens if you bobble your neck like those little dolls on the dashboard of cars? And while you're bobbling, inhale. Bit easier, right?
Mhm.
Take your
Totally.
hands, put them on your low belly, like where a bikini would be. And as you bobble your neck, inhale and push your belly out against your hands. Breathe the air in. A little easier. One more. Bobble your neck. Inhale through your nose. Breathe down to your belly and put it out. Hold it for a few seconds. And you can either sigh or or breathe it out through your nose. Do you feel differently?
Totally.
Congratulations! You have activated your parasympathetic nervous system, so now that trap door is going back open. So you can remember your words, you can breathe, you can connect back to your audience. And I would say if that was the only thing you got from me today, you have a tool that's going to help you, whether you're grieving, whether you have an interview, whether you're nervous about, my tech isn't working, to bring yourself back. I, of course, have many more, but that's
Yeah,
probably my favorite.
beautiful. And those other keys what you would like to share that helps the audience now on stage confidence, like if they have something coming up and they know like they start even getting nervous when they think about what they have coming up. So how can they prepare themselves?
I have tips in 5 areas, so we'll pick the ones that feel the best. The first one was what we just did, which was the physical. One more for that is if you pretend you're marionette from the very back of your head, pull your head up, you open your energy centers in your body. Now, not the front of your head. That jams the back. We want the back of the head up this way. And notice the energy and the breath can move all the way up and down your body. And if you can notice any place in your body that feels tight, see if you can either massage it or mentally melt it. Can you make it get softer? Like oftentimes it's the throat or it's the solar plexus or along the shoulders. And just practicing, can you soften it, is a huge physical thing. And that alignment that allows the energy to move, because this doesn't. And that's fight and flight.
Yeah.
So, I have a fun problem solver. This will help us with everything. It's 3 steps. 1, what is it that you want to do? Well, I want to feel confident and present myself well and have people enjoy me. Okay, great. What are you doing? Well, my chest is down, my head is up, I can't think, and everything's tight, and I'm not breathing very much. Oh, okay. Step 3, do the opposite of number 2. Okay, let's go back to, all right, so, okay, I'm going to use my marionette string. I'm going to lengthen my neck. I'm going to bobble my neck. I'm going to breathe through my nose, get my breath going. Oh. So that's how the troubleshooter works. So for the physical one, that works well. The next one I have is mental. Then we have energetic, which is way fun. Then emotions, which are energy and motion. And then I have a special treat for the last one, which only you know about right now. And so mental is the place people mostly go first. And mental, I'm going to share my favorite one with you. But the reason it doesn't work most of the time, and people are trying to think themselves, you can't think away a feeling. You have to do something else. So when you address the physical part that releases the emotion first, now your brain's back online. Now you can use all those good mindset tools. My favorite one, absolute favorite one, I learned from the tenor soloist at our church named Fred. When Fred would have a solo, he'd walk out in front of the congregation with his robes flowing, take center stage, pause a moment, and you could hear a pin drop. Everybody loved Fred. One day, I got my courage up and I asked him, I said, Fred, what do you do? Everybody loves you. And he said, oh, it's easy. When I walk out, I look at each and every one of them and I send them love. I thank them for being here. I send them love and wish them well. Then I take a pause and then I sing. And I went, oh my goodness, that was the most revolutionary thing I'd ever heard in my life. Because here's me going out for solo, right? Please like me, don't mess up, please like me. Oh, well, yeah, that's not going to get the same result. So the next week was my turn for a solo. So when I walked out, I tried Fred's trick. And I went out and with my eyes, I said, I love you. I'm sending love to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for creating this space where we can worship together. Thank you. And it was so different. The energy in the room was different because I was different. I was no longer saying, please like me. I was sending them love. And that creates, as I'm sure you speak about all the time, that wonderful cycle of energetic connection, of energetic communication. They are in training to my love for them rather than me having to mentally convince them of everything. And from that wonderful energetic place of I am sending you love, we create a communication before we even open our mouths. And that is my very favorite trick for the mental things.
Oh, I love that you shared that with us because it also changes your energy when you are just there sending that love, connecting with that love. I love that. Like really good one.
I had so many people come up to me after that solo and said, I don't know what's different, but oh my gosh, I was so moved. And for me, it's a much better compliment if people say, I was moved by what you said, rather than if they said, you're a good speaker or you're a good singer. That's much better. It's kind of along the lines of, oh, I have to do this. And I get to do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's really the key here, because I know I work with many who want to be messengers of light and love. So it is really an opportunity to fulfill our soul's mission and share the work, share that purpose from your heart, because the message was given to you for a reason, I believe. So I have these amazing tips now, so go out there and test them out. And I know, Diann, you also have given so much for us to think about and test it. I would also ask you to test it, not just listen here, but just put these things in action. You can listen again and take note of these things and put them into action, because that's the way you're going to learn. Like practice supports the messaging to flow easier and easier, right?
I have one more. This
Yeah.
is a theater game. It's a theater game. And what it teaches you is how to play with energy. Because a lot of people know they have energy, but they don't know that they can move it or play with it. And this is an exercise that you don't want to necessarily do on stage. You just want to play with it now. It's called subject, object, subject. You are the subject. Well, what does that mean? It means bring your attention onto your body. How are you feeling? How's your breath? Is there anything tight? Can you feel your feet on the floor? And just really be aware of you. This is called being on subject. So now I want you to take your awareness and think about something out there that bothers you. And it's getting bigger. Throw all your attention on it. It's just bothering you. Do you notice you feel differently? Most people say they feel a little ungrounded because their energy's out there. Now, bring your energy back. Breathe it back in. You can feel your arms, feet on the floor. Just come back and you're here with me, safe and happy. Now we're back on subject. Now, here's the trick. Come bring your energy behind your own eyes. You're feeling yourself. You're behind your own eyes. Look out at that thing. It's still there. It didn't go anywhere. But don't you feel differently? So you can practice subject, object, subject on a commercial on the television. You can practice it on a stoplight. You can practice it on anything. And when you actually pull into your body to feel, how am I? Am I paying attention to me? The next time something goes funky on stage, or your tech doesn't work, or somebody asks you a question you weren't expecting, you can bring your energy back to yourself, come behind your eyes, which is grounding, which is connecting. Okay. And you're going to be able to answer from a very grounded and very different place. So the trick is for this one, you have to practice so you know it. But people are so amazed that they can. They think that they are their emotions rather than emotions being is something that we have, an energetic thing. So this starts you on that route to be able to play with it. Anyway, we always have to do that when we do the theater stuff. So that's my last tip of those kind.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that too, because it is, again, very helpful to practice these things and have that experience. And I come from a country, Finland, where it's okay to be in the silence for a moment, because often we feel that we need to speak all the time. So you can take that moment, bring your energy back, right?
And also the silence, you bring up something, it's a different subject, but it's so important. You have to give your listeners space to absorb what you say. They don't want a fire hose of information. And the pause you take for yourself may be a message of exactly, this is what they need. So listen, take that.
Yes, yes, that is so important as well. So letting people to digest what they receive. And now you've put together a special gift for my audience to take what we have been talking here today and go deeper with you. So can you share a little bit about the gift?
I can. And I'm giving you my special VIP gift. This is not the gift I usually give. I usually give a PDF, which is also very good about 5 key steps from offstage to onstage to be radiant. But this one is a collection of 7 Alchemy Crystal Singing Bowl sound meditations, because there's nothing faster that I've found than sound to shift your vibration. And crystal's been used for decades in electronics because it's very steady. And we are also crystalline. We're mostly water. So when we have a situation where we're feeling a little knocked over, a little wonky, when we hear these beautiful, even sounds, the body vibrationally wants to entrain to the even, so want. And it's going to take the vibration in the way that it needs it, the wisdom that it needs it. I have a demonstration.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. So check that gift and get it now, because it is really a beautiful one. And now, like as Diann promised, she has a special message that she would like to share, special experience that she would like to give you with those beautiful balls. So
I brought friends. So all you have to do is come back on subject and notice where you are, eyes open, eyes closed. If you have earbuds, it's even better. But notice where you're feeling, notice in your body. Does this make a change in anything? It doesn't have to. Just wondering if it does. Take a nice big breath in from overhead, down into your heart, down into your belly. Let it feel nice and deep and rich. And then exhale all the way down into Mother Earth. Let her clean it up, energize it, bring it back up through your feet, deep into your loving belly. Let it feel warm and beautiful. And then exhale up through your loving heart, throat, out your brain, and up and over. Continue your breathing nice and slowly.
wow, that was so beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You notice the shift?
Yes, yes, it was very relaxing, even though it was that tiny moment.
Tiny little bit. It doesn't take much.
Yeah. So
It's
now,
my gift to all of you.
yeah, thank you. And if you want more, get that gift. and, and just want to say thank you, Diann, for sharing your valuable insights with us here today. And if you found this interview valuable, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more inspiring content. And don't forget to check out previous episodes too. So I'm sending you lots of light, lots of love. Bye for now.